Okay. Start to become centered by taking deep breaths, by relaxing your muscles, by engaging with what is happening right now. Instead of being somewhere forward or somewhere backward or somewhere sideways. Begin to find some clarity around what it is that you would like to initiate in your life, what it is you would like to build in your life, what it is you'd like to call forward. This can be little things, they can be big and grandiose, it can be seemingly simple. You just kind of have an idea of, okay, this is what I'm doing. This is where I'm going. This is what I'm building. Today and tomorrow, and a little bit of yesterday too, the moon is in Pisces. So that just means that our emotional body is a little bit more sensitive. We're a little bit more in touch with our feelings. We're a little bit more intuitive, a little bit more tuned in to if Joe is over there sitting in the corner and having a bad attitude. Sometimes that can affect us a little bit more when the moon is in a water sign because we're more sensitive. Are more receptive to the feelings and the vibes that are around us. Let's bring our knees so they point up to the ceiling. Feet connect down at the mat beneath you. Then wiggle your feet apart so your feet land wide and let your knees fall together. Take your arms out into a big T and just pause for a moment. Let those words sink in. We are sensitive, we are creative, we are in touch with our feelings, with our emotions. And we're also in the part of the lunar cycle where we have more momentum, we have more energy. So that emotional energy might be a little bit more intense. This is not something we're afraid of. We're not afraid of astrology. We just observe things for as they are. It is what it is. We don't need to ascribe a positive or a negative connotation to everything. Start to move your knees from side to side. Just gently rolling your low back down into the mat, your glutes down into the mat. The next time your knees fall to the right side, allow your legs to stay. Just rest, tilt your chin to look over your left shoulder, your left hand. Move your knees over to the left side and tip your chin over to the right. Shift our knees back towards the ceiling and then bring your knees in towards your heart. Let's connect hands to legs and just take some circles with your knees around your hips. Again, just warming up the low back. We're going to make sure to take care of our spine. And then find center. Let's point our knees to the ceiling, heels forward, so we have a 90-degree angle in our knees. Interlace your hands under your head and lift your shoulders up off of the ground. We're just going to hold. We're going to contract our abs, pull the belly button down towards the ground, squeeze your low ribs together. Build up some energy in your center body. Hold steady, maybe find a little bit more height. We'll hold still for 5, 4, 3, 2, and then 1. Begin to crunch up and down, big full movements. We're not necessarily going fast. We're just being very controlled, very deliberate with where we put our body when. Try to keep your knees stacked on top of your hips. A lot of times they like to come towards our chest, towards our shoulders. It's a little bit easier. But we want to keep them farther away. We want to keep them stacked on our hips. Good, let's do 5 more lifts and lowers. 4, 3, 2, and then last one. Good, bring your knees towards your chest. Roll from side to side, rock it out. And then bring your knees back to neutral. Let's take our feet straight up to the ceiling. Take a few points and flexes with your feet. Good. Then put your hands down beside your hips. And we're gonna lift our hips up towards the ceiling. Just some little tiny pulses up and down. Again, we want to strive for control, for deliberate movement, for action that is thought through and planned. So we want to reduce momentum. We want to reduce how much we fling ourselves up and down. So we're really in charge of our actions, of our movements. That's what we want to do during this part of the lunar cycle as well. We want to make sure we're moving in the direction that we want to be moving in. So we can honor that just by really paying attention to what we're doing with our bodies and when and how and what it feels like. We'll do 5 more. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Then we're gonna do just one more little series here. We're gonna move opposite hand up to opposite foot. I think this is just starfish. So we'll lower the right leg, lift your right hand up to your left ankle, and move side to side. So this one can have a little bit more momentum if you feel like you want to get your heart rate up and moving, then increase your speed a little bit. Make sure that you're not flailing, you're just throwing your body around though. Speed does not necessarily need to mean sloppiness. We'll keep going for 10 counts. So whatever speed you're going at, hunker down, keep it going. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good, relax. Bring your knees back towards your body. Hands to knees, let's make contact. And then open your knees wide. Let's find a triple diamond again. Just bottoms of the feet connecting. Let's bring our hands to heart and belly. And just notice how it feels, that exertion, how it feels to be you, how it feels to be in your body. Take another deep inhale and exhale. And bring your knees back up towards your chest. Cross your legs at your ankles. Find 3 rock and rolls. And after the 3rd rock and roll, we'll move into a child's pose. So move your hands over your knees. Take your knees to the mat. You can have them wide. You can have them close together. Drop your hips down to your heels. Drop your forehead to the floor. And just get present again. Pisces moon, everything has a perk and a pitfall, which is why I want to remind us to not judge things as good or bad, because everything has it all. Everything has too much, everything has too little. Like water's a good thing, but you can have too much and you can have not enough. Same with oxygen, same with sleep, same with exercise. We can all take things too far one way or the other. So we don't need to get hung up on what is good and what is bad, our view of what is good and what is bad, because everything has everything wrapped up in it. It is what it is. Let's take a breath in here, and then a breath out. Slide your hips up so they stack on top of your knees, tabletop. We'll walk our knees under our hip bones and find some movement. Find some cats and cows, maybe some C curves or some circular movements with your chest. One of the things about Pisces moon, about Pisces in general, is that boundaries can get a little blurry. We can get a little bit confused about what ideas or feelings or thoughts belong to us and what is just kind of flying around us, whether it's in our personal, intimate relationships, or it's just the people that are around you at the store. Move your body back to a neutral spine. And let's bring our left hand down under our nose. Take the right hand up to the ceiling. First, focus on the twist with your chest. We want to stack our right shoulder on top of our left. Notice the space you're making in your ribs. And then begin to move some circles through your right wrist. Go around either direction. And switch to circling your arm, your right arm. Big sweeping movements all the way around your range of motion. Just a couple spins around either way. Change direction as it feels appropriate. Notice any sounds that you hear. Any restriction or limitations that you're experiencing in your shoulder. And then take that right hand back up to the ceiling, reach it up really high, then thread your needle. Bring your right shoulder down to the ground, bring your temple down to the ground. So with Moon in Pisces today and tomorrow, we also have some other astrology that makes things a little bit confusing. So we already have that maybe kind of blurry boundaries going on. We have the sensitivity, we're closer to our emotions. And then we also have Mercury and Venus squaring Neptune. Neptune makes things just confusing. It kind of rules illusion and deception and magic, and it's like floaty and ethereal. So to have our mind interacting with that illusion deception planet and our feminine energy, our attraction, our desire, our feelings also at odds with that planet just brings up kind of like a distorted view of reality and makes it more likely to experience a distorted view. Let's come back to our tabletop position. We'll move our right hand down below the nose and then stretch up with the left arm, opening the chest, noticing the twist first. How much room can you make in your upper body? And then begin to swivel your wrist around through some circles, making sure to go around either direction as it feels right. Then move to your arm. Take some big swivelly circles around your shoulder, seeing what's happening in the left side this morning. Change directions as it feels appropriate. And take that left hand up high, stretch open, big twist. Then thread your needle. Left shoulder comes down to the ground, left temple comes down to the ground as well. So with all of the themes that we have, between the blurry Pisces, that blurred emotional boundary, Neptune making us feel confused maybe, or disoriented or disillusioned, I just want to remind you that you can stop at any moment and question what is going on. You can stop and ask yourself, am I perceiving this? Is this real? Am I making this up in my own head? Am I making up a story right now? Or am I witnessing things as they are? When we get swept up in tidal waves of emotion, it can be difficult to feel our feet on the ground and have those kind of moments where we're like, wait a second, I don't need to be swept up in all of that. This is real. I'm looking at it now. I'm present, I'm grounded, I'm centered. Let's move our body back to a tabletop position. Tuck your toes under and just lift your shins up off of the ground. So your shins are parallel with the floor. We'll hold steady right here. Notice where your belly button is within your body. Pull it in towards your organs. And then engage your thighs. Squeeze your thigh muscles into your thigh bones. Use your body to help you be grounded. We're going to move from here into a three-legged dog with the right leg. So we'll straighten out the left leg, lift the right heel up to the ceiling. Pull your right knee towards your nose, exhale. And inhale up and back. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale up and back. One more time, knee to nose. And up and back. And from there, we'll step our right foot and then our left foot forward for some standing sun salutations. Halfway lift, breathe in. Breathe out, fold forward. Extended mountain pose, breathe in, reach high. Breathe out, fold forward. Halfway lift, breathe in. Forward fold, breathe out. Extended mountain pose, root to rise. And exhale, bow down. Halfway lift. Let's move our feet back to a plank pose. And from plank, you choose how you get down to the ground. You can stay with your legs long. You can lower your knees, your choice. Bring your chest down towards the yoga mat, elbows pointing back behind you. We'll move through 3 cobras. Breathe in, lift your chest up. Breathe out, lower your chest down. 2 more times. And last one, breathe in, cobra. Tabletop exhale. Bring your hands below shoulders, knees below hips. Tuck your toes under and lift your shins up so they're parallel to the ground. Find your belly button, squeeze it in, engaging through your core. Pelvic floor, zip it all up, and then engage your thighs. Squeeze thigh muscles into thigh bones. Three-legged down dog. Left leg lifts up, right leg straightens. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, up and back. 2 more times, knee to nose. Inhale. Last one, exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, up and back. And then step left foot followed by right foot. Halfway lift, inhale. Exhale, bow forward. Extended mountain, press down, reach up high. Exhale, fold forward. Halfway lift. Forward fold. Extended mountain. Fold forward. Halfway lift. Forward fold. One more time, reach up high, big tall stretch, fill your lungs, and then empty them out as you fold forward. Soften the knees, move your feet back to a plank pose. Any way you choose, make your way down to the ground in plank, or maybe knees are on the ground. Take 3 cobras with your breath. Last one. And this time, downward facing dog. Go up and back. Both feet are on the mat. Take some pedals out with your heels. Pressing one heel down towards the ground at a time. Finding movement. Notice what you feel in your calves, in your feet, your ankles. If we ever feel confused, if we ever feel unsure, we can always come back to basics. We can always take a breath. We can always feel our feet. We can notice where our bones are in space and time. And press down into both of your heels. Let's walk our feet up towards our hands, one little footstep at a time. Separate your feet so they land on the edges of the mat, and then grab onto your elbows, ragdoll. Let your chest fall forward over your thighs. Give your head a little extra shake just to make sure that you're relaxing your neck muscles. You're not holding any certain specific shapes anywhere under your radar. Relax your hands, release your hands down to the ground. Wiggle your feet back in together. Hands to shins, halfway lift, breathe in. Forward fold, breathe out. Utkatasana, bend your knees and take your hips down low. And so extend our arms up overhead. Notice your body going in 2 different directions. We're pressing our feet down with like momentum and energy and action, and we're lifting our arms up so it's moving in opposite ways, just like the Pisces fish. The glyph is those fish swimming in opposite directions. And that adds to that dreamy, floaty confusion a little bit. We want to go out, we want to be home. We want to be in a partnership with someone. We're in a partnership, we decide, oh, maybe not. That is just the nature of Pisces. It's the nature of the fish. Let's bring our hands down together at our heart center. Sit a little bit deeper down into your seat. And then twist over to the right. Bring your left arm down to your right leg. Now, if you'd like, you can open up your arms wide for a full expression. You can also keep your palms together or make fists and press your fists together. Sometimes that helps to get more rotation through the spine and chest. Move your body back towards center and then switch sides. We'll twist to the left this time, right elbow, left leg. Palms together, fists together, arms open wide, your choice. Sometimes we are the only ones, like our weird little thoughts, like, oh, I can't do it, or oh, that won't work. Are the illusion. Sometimes that is the deception. So it doesn't need to be this big, scary thing, like, I don't know, I always think of like big scandals. It doesn't need to be a big scandal. Sometimes you just don't tell yourself the truth. Make your way back towards center, hands meet at heart before we release. On the next inhale, we'll stand up tall, stretch, stretch, and then exhale, fold your way forward. Take a halfway lift with an inhale. And then move your body back to downward facing dog. Any way you choose to arrive in the pose is perfect. Look back, look at your feet. Notice where they are on your mat. They should be about 2 fists worth of space apart. And let's lift our right leg up to the ceiling. Bend your knee, point your knee up towards the ceiling. Draw your heel towards your bum. And then step your way forward. Warrior 1. Plant your feet down on the ground. Move your hands up overhead. Notice your hip bones. We want our hips to fall below our shoulders, and then our shoulders to fall below our ears. With an inhale, stand up tall or reach higher through your arms, big stretch. And then exhale, hands to the mat, high plank, move to downward facing dog, however you'd like to get there. Take your left leg up to the ceiling, bend your knee, heel to bum, knee to the ceiling, stretch. And then step it through, warrior 1. Pivot your back heel to the mat. Line your hips, your shoulders, your ears all up so they stack one on top of the other. With an inhale, stretch your arms, stretch your side body, even though you're pressing into the mat with all of your might. And then exhale, hands to mat, make your way back to downward facing dog. Take a breath in. Take a breath out. Inhale your right leg up to the ceiling. Exhale, step it forward. Inhale, warrior 1. Hands reach up high. Exhale, hands to the mat, high plank. We're going to go one breath, one movement. Move your body to downward facing dog. From down dog, take a breath in. Take a breath out. Left leg lifts up, breathe in. Exhale, step forward. Inhale, warrior 1. Exhale, hands to the mat, high plank. From here, find your downward facing dog. We're going to do one more on either side of that one breath, one movement. Find your flow. Don't overthink it, don't overcomplicate it, just flow. Go with the flow. Inhale, right leg up. Exhale, step it forward. Inhale, warrior 1, ground down, lift up, opposite directions. Exhale, hands down, find downward facing dog. Take a breath in. Let it go. One more side. Inhale, left leg lifts up. Exhale, step it through. Inhale, warrior one. Exhale, hands to the mat. Move to downward facing dog. Take a breath in. Take a breath out. Walk your feet forward towards your hands, one little footstep at a time. Take a halfway lift, long spine. Bring your spine parallel to the floor. And then interlace your hands down by your tailbone. Lengthen your arms, press your knuckles back towards the wall behind you, and then fold your chest forward. You want to wiggle your feet apart a little bit. You can to widen your base. And take a moment to tune back into reality. Disconnect from the little stories, from the little tales, from the little worries that sometimes we confuse as real. And just tap back into the concrete, to what's here, to what's happening. Release your hands down towards the ground. If you've separated your feet, walk them back in together. And take a halfway lift. Breathe in. Fold to empty out. Extended mountain pose. Reach up high for the ceiling. Then bend your elbows down in front of your face. We're going to go into eagle with the right arm. We'll take the right arm under. We'll soften through the knees and we'll take the right leg over. Now focus your eyes. Be aware of what your eyes are doing, where they're looking. And then exaggerate your center line. We're squeezing our arms together towards center. We're squeezing our legs together towards center. Our core, belly button in towards the organs. Let's move this eagle into an airplane. So take your time. We'll take our right heel back towards that wall behind us. We'll reach back with our fingertips, long arms, long spine, long legs. Very good. From airplane, we're going to take a pyramid pose. So we'll put our right foot down on the mat, about a foot worth of space between our 2 feet. With an inhale, we stretch up tall to the ceiling. And an exhale, we fold our chest down over our left leg. Now take 3 breaths, kind of dynamic breaths, dynamic movement. We'll inhale, lengthen the spine. And then we'll exhale, release the chest forward. 2 more. Inhale, long spine. Exhale, release. And again, long spine. And then release down. We're going to bring our weight into our front leg. We're going to find standing splits. So begin to shift your weight forward into that left foot. And then take your right leg up high for the sky. Return your feet down so they are under your hips. Take a halfway lift, inhale. Exhale to fold. Extended mountain pose. Press down, reach up for the ceiling. And then exhale, bend your elbows in front of you. Take your left arm under your right arm. Your left leg over your right leg, eagle pose. Exaggerate your center. Arms, legs, core, all hugging in towards that imaginary center line. Move this eagle into an airplane. We'll unwind, take the left heel back to the wall behind us. Reach back through the fingertips so your chest has no choice but to open because your arms are long. They're stretching back to the wall behind you. From here, pyramid pose, set your feet up first. Left foot finds the floor behind your right. We'll inhale, hands go high, reach, reach, reach. And then exhale, fold over your right leg. Take 3 active dynamic breaths. We inhale, long spine, pull the heart forward. We exhale, release forward. Breath 2. And then last one. Bring our weight forward into the right foot. Standing splits, lift up through your left leg. And then return your feet down to the ground. Find a halfway lift with an inhale. Exhale to fold forward. Extended mountain. Breathe in, reach high. And then bring your hands down to your heart center. Take a peek over the tips of your fingers. And we'll come all the way down to the ground. We'll come down to our seat. So bring your hips to the mat. Take your legs out long in front of you. Ears above shoulders, above hips. Let's take a breath in, reach up through your arms. A breath out, fold your chest forward towards your thighs. Bring your spine back up tall. Bring your hands under your seat. We're going to move into fish pose for our Pisces moon. So lower your elbows and forearms down to the ground. Press them down so your heart lifts up, and then let your chin point up to the ceiling. You slowly begin to release your spine, your shoulders, your head all down to the ground. Bring a bend into your knees. And then take right ankle over left knee. Tip your legs down to the left side so the bottom of your right foot lands on the ground. And then reach out with your right arm and turn your chin over towards the right side. Even though over the rest of the week we have this higher likelihood for confusion or feelings of uncertainty or maybe even insecurity, That whole Neptunian energy of illusion and smoke and mirrors and mystical and magical, sometimes our most creative insights come from spaces like that. And maybe we don't really know quite what is going on, or maybe we don't know quite what we're supposed to be doing. We get this flash of brilliance that just is like strikes gold in our minds. So if you do feel weird, if you do feel insecure or self-conscious or just confused, maybe unmotivated, just imagine yourself like this week someone just gave you those drunk goggles to put on, those glasses that make everything look like you're really messed up. It's not permanent, it's not always going to be that way. You can take the glasses off. Just be aware. Be aware of yourself, what you're going through, what you're thinking, what you're feeling. And give yourself permission to feel all the feelings, to think all the thoughts. Let's move our legs back to center, and we'll switch sides. We'll take the left ankle over the right knee. We'll set our legs down to the right. We'll twist our chin to point over to the left. You feel like the tension of not feeling certain, or you're starting to find yourself getting frustrated because of just feeling disoriented or confused. Good outlets for that are physical activity as well as creative outlets. Go for a challenging walk on the beach where your calves burn, or on the sidewalk. Maybe visit a gym, maybe take another yoga class, or maybe journal. Maybe read about dreams and dream interpretation and how you can learn to navigate your dreams in a way that maybe you didn't know before. I think our brain will always tell us that uncertainty is a problem, but it doesn't need to be. So don't trick yourself, don't lie to yourself. Let's bring our hips and legs back to neutral, and then take your feet up to the ceiling. You can hold on to the backs of your legs if that feels good. You can put a block under your bum or your sacrum for Karani. You can even prop your hips up with your hands if you feel like doing shoulder stand. Just find a way to be here where you can soothe yourself, where you can calm yourself and come back to center. bring our knees down towards our chest. If you put a block beneath you, you can slide it away. And we'll bring our feet down to the mat. And stretch out long with your right leg. Stretch out long with your left leg. And just bring your body down to the ground. If you'd like any props or any additional stretches, please listen. We'll all just begin to surrender into our final resting pose. Releasing our bones down to the ground, releasing our expectations and our thoughts and our need to figure things out. Trust that all of the perfect things happen in the perfect time. And that if we have a clear-cut roadmap, then sometimes we miss out on little magical road tours or detours. Shavasana. Begin to move your fingers and move your toes. Maybe find some rotation in your ankles or with your wrists. And then let's take a big stretch with a big inhale. Stretch out as long as you can. And then when you exhale, relax. Pull your knees in towards your chest. Cross your legs at your ankles. Move up to your seat. And then once you have ears, shoulders, hips stacked, take some head rolls. Just gently moving your head. Maybe bobbling from side to side, maybe swiveling it around front. Bring your eyes back to neutral. Let's take an inhale, reach the hands up high. Take an exhale, bring your hands down to your heart. With all my love and all my gratitude, ladies, namaste. Thank you for being here today. I hope you enjoyed practice.
It's good to see you.
It's good to see you. I'm going to be sending you a text message today.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay. I hope you enjoy your day. Have a good one, and I'll see you soon.
Thank you. You too.
Thank you. Bye, guys.